A former national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, Adams Oshiomhole, says there is no quick fix for the Nigerian economy by the administration of President Bola Tinubu because the president inherited an economy in a terribly bad shape. According to him, the government inherited an economy in which the nation's total national revenue was barely enough to service its debt, with Nigeria spending 96% of its earnings for debt repayment and servicing. Well, Dayo, Sobowale, our in-house analyst, joins us now to look at Oshiomhole's claim of Tinubu inheriting an economy in bad shape against the backdrop of claims by the president's predecessor, Muhammadu Buhari, that he was leaving Nigeria better than he met it. Welcome to the show, Mr. Sobowale.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Pleasure being here, Suja.
It's a pleasure having you. So let's talk about this now. We're seeing, in trying to resolve all of Nigeria's issues, economy, looking at, removal of fuel subsidy, insecurity, all of those things. Now we're hearing from Adams Oshiomhole, and he's saying, it's not it's not the president's fault. He inherited this bad government. But when the president was running or campaigning, he kept saying Emilo Kon. He did not say Emilo Kon, but it's not, At this point, when you think about it, do you think that this is the body language you should be getting from, someone that is someone that that has the experience being a former NLC chairman and someone who is closely affiliated to the president now?
He's a member of the APC. He was a former chairman of APC. So he's defending his party. But then, you know what is called K-leg? You see, there's a Yoruba proverb that says, you are looking at somebody who is carrying a load that is slanted. But if you have to look down to see why it is so. And then another proverb says, if the fish is rotting, it is from the top. Oshiomhole is playing defense lawyer for this government. It is to be expected. He was an APC chairman. But you see, the situation on the ground is very bad. But my first brief here is to contend with the statement by the former president that he met a worse situation. I looked into that. See, when he was going, you were all here.
Yes.
They were signing contracts and contracts and contracts. Now Oshiomhole has come to say our revenue, if it is out of 100 naira, we're in debt for 9. So we have no revenue, literally. So if you have no revenue, it is a hopeless situation. We cannot even cut our clothes according to our cloth. But you see, I dwelled into the legacies of both Buhari and his predecessor. You see, Jonathan, when he was going, was beating his chest on education. Get you now, that he built 12 universities, federal universities in states that had no federal universities. That he created a scholarship for innovation and development. And one other thing, he refurbished the Kaduna Railway and Ibadan Railway, something, which in the legacy that Buhari was claiming, he claimed that too. Buhari claimed, in fact, his own main achievement was on infrastructure, that he built the Niger Bridge, Kaduna Railway, something. But then, people have said, if he had only tried to fix the refineries, we would not be in the state we are in now. And this was somebody who was oil minister. Don't forget that. So he had the background. He was oil minister during military rule, and he was oil minister during the 8 years of his presidency. So for him to say, like Oshiomhole is saying that he left the government better than he met it, he was being philosophical. He had literally condemned Jonathan, but Jonathan left a legacy on education. And education is my own favorite field.
Yes.
But still I have my way, I will have free education. I'm still saying it loudly. If people are educated, you have a better society. You have development. You have engineers. But then, this economy is bad. But then you are gloating over the Emilokon.
No, I'm
you
not.
You are gloating.
I'm not gloating. I'm just trying to
but,
touch on what he said during his campaign.
It's not you alone. You are following Bakari now. Bakari said the president is impulsive. All these are observations that are in place. You get me? Given the situation they are in. Because it's as if you are stuck in a go-slow now, economically and financially. And that cannot go on for too long. People will get annoyed. That is a recipe for political tension and, if not well contained, instability. So I will call on government to move faster than it is moving. Put the palliatives on the ground. Correct this deficit with food inadequacy, health, infrastructure. Buhari claimed they have funded infrastructure, but he created a debt of almost 7 trillion in the process, which we will never be able to pay forever unless we plug the loopholes in our economy and discover new sources of revenue and lower taxes, raise money internally, develop an export-oriented economy, thereby we can hand dollars. I'm happy Chartered Institute of Bankers has said that no economy develops soundly with a free market system. And this one is choking us now. What was that? I can't breathe. Was that not what Floyd said?
Yes, indeed.
The masses of Nigeria are in that shape now. And they need to be rescued by this government and this president. Right.
Duly noted, Mr. Sobowale. Yes. Now, when you look at the statement that was made by Oshiomhole, it just comes across as excuses. And like you rightly I know, it just comes across as excuses. And at this point, I think it's obvious that we can feel the frustration once you step out of your home, if it's not within your home. How can this administration inspire confidence and a sense of direction
by putting food,
everyday Nigeria?
By putting food on the table.
That's it.
Yeah. And how do you put food on the table? It's not the dining table. Making life comfortable for people so that they can afford their needs. They can go to work in peace. Food, security, good infrastructure, so that farmers, even the petrol traders were saying, gas suppliers, that the roads are so bad. The roads that Buhari is claiming that he spent money on, that the roads are so bad that they spoil their vehicles such that the money they spend on repairs will eventually make them to increase prices of their products. So there is need for government to nip in the bud, you get me? The adoption of the free market system to solve our problem, because it is escalating it. It's escalating it. And this fuel subsidy thing, like I said yesterday, NLC should bring out its figures. They have researchers who work for them. I know they are mostly socialists. But then it's obvious that free market economy, laissez-faire capitalism, which the Tinubu government is adopting now, is not working. Nigeria has always had a mixed economy, a mixture of capitalism and socialism. You get me? Government interference, price regulation, and you arrest situation if they get out of hand, not from a textbook given out. Being used during the IMF because we borrowed IMF loan. The sooner we get out of that mood of thinking that free market forces will relieve us of our economic malaise, the better.
Another thing that Mr. Oshiomhole said, part of his statement was that, President Tinubu and his deputy had shown courage and determination to stop the corruption of the subsidy regime and in the Central Bank of Nigeria, in the same breath appealing to Nigerians to be patient. Now, when we look at this fuel subsidy, it brings us back to the conversation of okay, what's being done about, and I know you say I'm following in the footsteps of Pastor Tunde Bakar again, but it's a conversation that we need to have, you know, going after those that have been robbing the country. And then secondly, how the president or how the DSS has handled this situation with the, you know, former CBN governor. I mean, he was supposed to be, you know, put out.
But he's on trial now.
Exactly, but the way it's been handled, you know, he was supposed to have been picked, you know, gone in. His bail was set. He had paid his bail, but then the DSS refused to release him.
That is not what we are discussing now.
But he said that in his statement.
No. Let's face what Oshiomhole has done. Before, he said he was not put on trial, and they put out a flimsy excuse of owning gun. Now they have brought out something. But then look at Central. The Central Bank made profit. Getting billions of naira, both even amongst his group, as a group, billions of naira. And this is the body in charge of our economy. They make profit, you get it? And their directors will have dividends, but they have mismanaged the economy. Is something not suspicious there? Something is totally, they say something is rotten in the state of Edema. You can apply that to the CBN. So the new CBN governor should put his house in order. Although he has said that the exchange rate thing is speculative and they will arrest people, let him do that. The next thing we should do, you are a journalist, Information Act is there. Let people publish those marketers who are involved. Let the government publish the earnings of senators, legislators, everybody. It's a free, that's free information. That is what we should be looking at. Let them publish the salaries of people. If you're asking of legislators, politicians in office, what is wrong with publishing it? If you're asking people to make sacrifices, let us see how far you are ready to go yourself. Even that, let the info, don't sacrifice the only disclosure of information, and then you see what will happen.
I definitely agree with you.
We spoke to an economist yesterday, Mr. Sobowale. One of the things he mentioned was that, when it came to the policies that were you know, put in place, economic policies by the Tinubu administration, that it wasn't tested, for instance. And now they were seeing that there might be a temporary subsidy in place.
It's a new administration now.
Yes, but he's saying, what he was saying was that they just plunged into it without having any tests carried out. So I'm just saying, is it time for us to see...
That's the impulsive thing that Bakar is saying now. Yes. We all saw it. And that's why Shaitan is making fun of the president.
I'm not making fun of the president.
Yes. Bakar said it was impulsive. It is correct. I was arguing with some people that fuel subsidy is gone. You get me? That it is in that speech. It is not in this speech. Look at the headline for this day today. It is a mockery of that fuel subsidy.
Yes, I think we have
it
that.
Subsidy
Subsidy
is gone.
Subsidy is gone.
I don't want to do mass work.
And now you'll be here.
Okay, so that says it all.
Yes.
Okay. On that note, since you already, you know, stated I don't want to do Emmanuel Ifedi's work, we'd like to say thank you for your time, Mr. Dayo Sobowale.